My bad, my bad. If you can see my screen, please do raise your hand again or pop a message on the chat. Yeah, I think we're back in biz. I think we are back in biz. Cool, cool. Let me just bring back that. So 14 April, follow the trader. Someone Brian will not be joining us. Quick disclaimers. Reminder that you can lose more than what you start with. Think Markets running a weekly webinar. Link to that and a bunch of videos on justonelab.com/think markets. For those who, and then contact details. You can drop me an email. You can drop Simon an email, Twitter, and those are our Twitter handles. Feel free to drop us DMs if you have any questions during the week. Contact details of Think Markets and legal disclaimers. Make money, it's yours. Lose it, well, belongs to someone else. So since last week, we had I got stopped out. So there was a stop trigger, a stop close below the 30-day exponential moving average. And then yesterday we had, which is one of those, man, where you get stopped and then the market then returns and gives you a second trigger. So we had a trigger today, rather a trigger yesterday. I'm not too sure. So we're looking for a close above 62.27, and then today we 62.22. So not quite. So we can see the close right here. Right, yeah, that's the close there. As you can see, yesterday's close was 62.27 and today's close was 62.22. So very, very bitterly close from confirming. We'll most likely get a confirmation tomorrow. It did look like it was going to confirm today, but it closed pretty much where it opened today. It opened and closed at the pretty much the same level. It was just up literally 1 cent on the day. So this was Arrhenius. We'll get into those in just a bit. Actually, the Brussels 2000, I got a trigger here, which confirmed there. I entered on the next day, and I got stopped yesterday. On Monday, it came bitterly close from stopping me, but it didn't, only by just a few cents. And then I got stopped yesterday. Exited the trade this morning. It looks like we're going to get another trigger on Russell 2000 to today. So we'll see when the US market close at I believe at 10 o'clock this evening. I'm still on the spider trade. So there was the trigger. There was the trigger candle there. And there was a confirmation. I entered on the very next day. So we're sitting good in profit. And as you can see, the 30-day exponential moving average is slightly above the, and I believe my entry was actually somewhere there because of that gap in at the open. So the 30-day exponential moving average is around break even. So which is looking very good. And then trades that were opened since, not open price, but open time. I added on my transaction capital trade as it broke through there. I entered yesterday. Folks, feel free to pop questions and in the chat box or in the question section. Added on my transaction capital trade. You would see I've deleted all the tools. I just wanted to get some clear charts and to get a better perspective, to remove all the Christmas lights on the chart. So we had a nice break there on transaction capital. I'll trade my stop to that to the 28.34 level. On the break they entered this morning, stop loss fair bit away out of traffic, looking quite good. Risk on the trade is essentially zero. Actually, the worst thing that could happen here is that I only make about 1% on my position here, so looking quite decent. Another trade that I entered was MTN. So it was breaking on a higher box, box that ended there. So also a symmetrical triangle pattern there. And there was I believe this giant candle there was the chief executive buying some stock for himself on MTN, which pushed the stock quite aggressively there. So nice symmetrical triangle and pattern there, breakouts, and then stock was off to the races. But it was actually breaking into a higher box as well. Pilot so yeah, entered on that break there as it was as it was breaking just before the close, and I think I should not have entered this position because as you can see, it literally just collapsed within that 15-20 minutes period. Shelly, I'll bring back the Christmas lights. I'll bring back the boxes and that sort of thing. Don't worry. I just wanted to get a much clear long term perspective. Looking at a much cleaner chart. So yeah, coming back. So my stop loss moved to that 259 level, 259.50. Just below that low there. So if we break that low, we'll be making a lower low. So in which case I want to be out of the trade, and I think I'll be making about 7% return on the trade, which is quite lekker. But if we do break again back, I'll continue to hold. But it looks like we're forming looks like conflicting signals. Decent double top, perhaps to retest that 200-day exponential moving average. But we'll see. We'll see over the next couple of days. I think that's about it. And let's now have a run through all the trades as we normally would. Starting off with ABSA. ABSA still looking quite good. Holding that support there. So I entered on the breakthrough that level. So on the break there, so that was the break there. Came back to retest. I put a snaky order in the market, but so far so good. Holding that that trend line support there on ABSA. So now what I'm waiting for to add to this position is a break above that level there. Perhaps I can pull it much closer. Break above that 132 level. Nice ascending triangle pattern there. Perhaps, yeah, there. Nice nice looking ascending triangle pattern. As it breaks higher, we'll add to the position and throw my stop accordingly behind me there. Next, African Rainbow, I got stopped with a fair bit of decent profits on African Rainbow on XDiv. I had my numbers wrong, but anyway, it came back to bridge what was resistance here. You can see it was respected fairly well. Even previously came back to hold its support here. So this was a fair decent level. So I entered just on the close there on African Rainbow. So yeah, so far going nowhere slowly. So I'm gonna wait until we break that level there, and then I'll add to the position. Or rather, perhaps if we do that. I like drawing trend lines using line charts because they're much more clearer a nice looking symmetrical triangle pattern on African rainbow there. So as we break out of the symmetrical triangle pattern, I'll add to the position, which gives me a nice place to place a stop below that last swing low there around the 269 level. And then I'll add to the position and show my stop there. But so far, for now, we'll wait until we break that level on the upside, which will be break on a resistance level. And I like the symmetrical triangle pattern there as well. Next is Aspen. Aspen forming a nice head and shoulders pattern there. Was my tool. A nice head and shoulders pattern. So this is a nice looking head and shoulders pattern. So I'm looking for a breakthrough that neckline around that 52 Rand and some change. And then I'll add to my position, placing my stop just below the low of the right shoulder, wherever that is, and would be also below that 50-day exponential moving average. And this happens as you'll see on the, if I move this, okay, let's just delete it for a sec. As it tested and held that 50-day exponential moving average. So that's looking quite decent. Why am I not? So Taylor is asking, why am I not using candles for African rainbow? I am. I just for drawing trend lines, it's just usually better if you use a line chart, because line charts tend to line charts are drawn based on the close. So I like using line charts to draw trend lines, but I typically look at the candlesticks. Exaro, we'll get to Exaro in just a bit. We'll get to Exaro in just a bit. Another one, BHP, still bubbling along, going nowhere slowly. I also got stopped on XDiv. So I re-entered on that break there as it was looking to break through that 50-day exponential moving average, but it held as resistance, came back. But today we actually closed above the 50-day exponential moving average, which is quite significant. On the break there, I'll probably add to my position, and again on that break there, I'll add to my position as well. Next is Capitec. So Capitec is forming a nice symmetrical triangle pattern here. So Adrian, there's a playlist. Adrian is joining us, I believe, for the first time. There's a playlist on the Village Trader YouTube channel. So if you go off all these sessions from back in August, we started this August last year, so you can just follow along there. But feel free to drop me an email on njabulo@villagetrader.coza, or just drop me a DM on Twitter. I'll happily answer any question that you may come up with. So Capitec looking nice, nice symmetrical triangle pattern, holding that 50-day exponential moving average quite well. I'm looking for a breakthrough that rather symmetrical triangle pattern, and also because I already have a losing position on Capitec, I will not be adding on the break through the symmetrical triangle pattern. I'll only be adding through the break of the horizontal resistance at around 1400 and some change there. Coronation. Coronation is one of my favorites. Nice looking charts, as you can see, started entering on that break there and been adding to this position. So waiting for a breakthrough above that 54-ish level seems more respectable, 55 Rand and some change. Once we get a close above that, I'll add to my position and throw my stop to around that 52 Rand 50 or 52 and 40 level behind me as we break through that 55 Rand level, which I believe would be 52-week high if we get that close above that level there. So it's a year high as well. Discovery also similarly a nice, it's consolidating, forming a nice symmetrical triangle pattern. Currently struggling with that 50-day exponential moving average, but also at the same time holding that support level there. So we'll see. Well, it will break one way or the other. It will break either on the upside or on the downside, and perhaps that 50-day exponential moving average serves us as a hint. Um, to say, okay, for now, we're looking at a break to the downside since we were below that 250-day exponential moving average. But if I do, let's bring back the 200-day. Also, the 200-day has been holding quite well as support. So if it breaks through that 200-day exponential moving average, we'll probably be going much, much lower. So I'm looking for a breakthrough, not only through that symmetrical triangle pattern, but also through that resistance level there where I actually entered. Once we break back through that, I'll add to my position and throw my stop um, to around 129. So even when I'm adding to my position, my risk will remain at around 2% until we actually start moving on discovery. So I got a trigger on Distal. So I was waiting for the breakthrough this resistance level there around that 120. We got it today with a nice giant bullish engulfing candle coming in today. So tomorrow market open, I'll add to the position with a stop loss around that one triple level. Excuse me, that triple 190 level. That's where I'll place my stop. I could place it there, but it feels too tight. But I'll just put it around that triple one level there on Distel. So take the trade in the morning and show my stop accordingly behind me. Let's just quickly trail that stop. Um, 6 to 1 falls fairly decent. Nice thing about a stop, you can move them even when the market is closed. So unlike the also higher lows, which is quite significant, unlike using modify where you can't actually update, but at least with stops, you can drag and drop them as you please. I believe 61 was the number. Yep. So my stop loss is now at, you'll see, okay, I'll update it properly in the morning to say 6 to 1. Fortunately, struggling with that 123 level. It's having it did break it, but came right below it. But looks like maybe tomorrow we'll get a nice solid break there. In which case, I'll add to my position and throw my stop to that 114 level, 114.50 level. But before I rush to do anything on Foshini, let's just double check if we have turned. We're bitterly close, very, very, very close, very, very, only a few cents. 30-week exponential moving average still relatively below the 60-week exponential moving average, but they're close enough that I could actually take the trade still. Glencoe looking nice, making high lows, but it has been selling off since I bought it, partly because of dividends. Typically, stocks tend to take a correction after paying some dividends as well. So yeah, it broke again yep, it broke that resistance level there, which was support after the gap. Came back, held it as a resistance, and now broke back again. So there's a little bit of I suppose hope coming back on this on Glencore, also holding that 50-day exponential moving average, and perhaps that 55.80 level will be a nice place to place a stop once we get a close above that 63, I suppose that 64 and level. I'll add to the position and throw my stop to around 55, which would put the second last trade at break even. And I believe I'll be at break even at that point. Uh, okay, so April is actually asking a very very good question. So I'll try to read it out. The best I can. She says, "I know we are trading CFDs here, and your reasoning for not adding to a losing position is clear enough. What I would like to know is, do I buy dips on equities that actually shit? So when it comes to investing for long term and not trading on CFDs, when trading CFDs, absolutely not. Rather buy the breakout from the dip. But if you have an investment methodology and nothing, if the reasons why you bought the stock in the first place still hold, you can then continue to you can buy the dip. But if the investment, if the reason why you didn't, if the reason why you bought the share no longer holds, you can then exit. But certainly you can buy the dip. I don't do it. I don't invest in stocks. I only trade them. Hope that answers you, April. So Impala. Impala is one of my biggies actually. It's a big trade. Looking to make about 7%. I think we did touch on it. Waiting for the breakthrough 290 on Impala. Then yeah, we'll just continue holding it. But if I do get stopped out, I'll lose. I'll make about 100, rather 7% on the trade. As you can see, my earliest buy is well sitting on profit as far as my stop loss is concerned. In fact, 3 trades are in profit at the moment. Only that last bit. That's the risk is that last bit. We're making just the risk is that I make a little bit less, and that would happen as a trend follower. Kumba. So I entered Kumba as it was looking to break there, but yeah, I came back and tested these 50-day exponential moving average, break through it, and held nicely today as it enters into this 615, 675 range. Yeah, looking quite good. Another one that I will should make a note by tomorrow. Uh, tomorrow when the market opens, I'll trail my stop to that 587, and then I'll make sure that uh, uh, um, my risk on the trade is still remains at that 2% level. But as you can see, that 587 level looks very nice place to place a stop loss there. Mondi looking quite good. In fact, Mondi not looking very good. It broke the support level there, and it also closed below that 50-day exponential moving average. And it also recently paid a dividend. So we looks like we could be stopped out of this trade. But if I do get stopped, it means we're making a lower low. So I don't want to be holding a stock long that makes lower lows. Mr. Price looking good, looking very, very decent actually. Nice doji candle there. Looking like the sellers of that sell off there are losing a bit of momentum, but we'll see what happens tomorrow. Um, but if we get a nice break above the 98 rand, 198 level, I'll add to the position and trail my stop to that 188 level. On Mr. Price there, or rather maybe give it a little bit of room there. Put those two earlier trades on break even. Put a stop loss below that 50-day exponential moving average, just to give it a little bit of room there as it breaks through that 198 level. Mr. Price. Okay, we did touch on Mr. Price. We did touch on MTN as well. Multi-choice, nice symmetrical triangle pattern. Been struggling also with that 50-day exponential moving average, but as you can see yesterday, nice bullish engulfing candle, giant bullish engulfing candle. Today, it was pretty much flat. Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see if we do get a nice breakthrough that 131 level, or add to the position um, on 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 multi-choice day. Northern looking quite lekker. So that was my break there. It looks like we do have a little bit of resistance. One, two, three, four, five times it has been touched this level without any violations. So yeah, man, if we get a close above that 270 level, I'll add to the position and throw my stop to that 244.90 level, or perhaps maybe slightly lower around that way, that 50-day, that 239, 240 level. Yeah, that's where, just to give it a little bit more room to for the stock to maneuver. Pepco looks like seemingly this looks like it was a false break, but we'll see over the next couple of days. But we're making a higher low, and looks like we're still making higher lows. But once we break through that 16 rand, close above that 16 rand 70 level, higher high, I'll add to the position and trade my stop to that 1512 level on Pepco. Quilter looking fairly decent. Nice ascending triangle pattern, came back and held the 50-day exponential moving average as support. Yeah, bubbling along, going nowhere slowly. Nice three white soldiers there, but I'm looking for now a breakthrough and a close above again at that 34 rand level, at which point I'll trail my stop to that 31 rand level behind me, and yeah, add to the position and trail my stop behind me accordingly. Next is Real Bafokeng. Yeah, I think it's sitting at about 4% in terms of profits. That it has already been secured. So I'm also, on top of that, it did pay a dividend as well, which is also nice. So I'm looking for a breakthrough and a close above that 118 level. Once we close above 118 level, I'll add to the position and trail my stop to that 104, 105 level behind me. So yeah, Royal Bafokeng looking quite good. In fact, PGMs are generally looking quite fairly decent. Royal, rather Rand Merchant, it's looking fairly bleak. I entered on that breakthrough there, but it's looking fairly bleak. So here I'm just gonna wait for a close above the 33 rand, 34 rand, and then I'll add to the position and put my stop around. Um, 28 Rand and maybe 29 Rand. But we'll see. We'll see with price action if it gives me better levels to place my stop as it moves along. Sapi looking fairly decent. Yeah, looking fairly decent. And that level there looks like it's been respected quite a fair bit. But once we get a close above that 52 Rand level, I believe it's another 52-day high. That's a very significant level. As you can see, like just that level there or has already been broken and came back to hold in support. That 52 Rand level is quite significant. As you can see, once we close above that, um, uh, that's a if you were a target trader, 60 Rand is a target. 70 Rand is another nice target. um, $80 is a target, and ultimately $100 is a target, and above $100, well, sky's the limit. And I'm hoping to stay through that ride for as long as possible. Shorebright came back. It looks like it's testing that 50-day exponential moving average, and then similarly also I want to close above that last high close there. If we do, I'll add to the position. But as you can see, we have a nice falling wedge here. We have ourselves a nice falling wedge. It's quite sharp, um, this falling wedge, but it's a decent falling wedge. Um, it's a fairly decent falling wedge. If we break out of it, I could be adding to my position, maybe even earlier once we get a close above that level there. Once you get a close above this level, 153 looks like it was a nice support level going back. As you can see, yeah, nice support level, 153, 152. We get a close above 150, 153. I'll add to the position as well and throw my stop to below the low of the falling wedge, where my 50-day exponential moving average, around the 147 level. Yeah, if Shoprite starts to move, yeah, man, I want to be on that bus. Nsibande, nice breakthrough, that bullish flag after holding that up. Also after paying a dividend, holding that 50-day exponential moving average. Yesterday, not quite a bullish engulfing candle, but it does engulf 1, 2 candles there. Nice break, nice gap, and gap and run, breaking through that bullish flag there. I'll add to the position once we break above that 72 Rand, and then I'll maybe throw my stop to that to just below that low there, around 64 Rand. Stephen is asking if there's videos explaining the systems. Yeah, if you go on Village Trader, the YouTube channel, Village Trader ZA, search for Village Trader ZA on YouTube. Yeah, there's videos where I go through the system as well. So Reyes, we did have a buy trigger, I believe, today, but we'll get into that in a bit. I believe we did have a buy trigger on Cetrix 40. So transaction capital, we went through that one. Woolies, nice break. This is still transaction capital. Woolies, nice break on Woolies. I'm going to add to this position in the morning and throw my stop to that 46 Rand level there. So where's Citrix 40? There. I believe we do have a buy trigger on. Actually, we had a buy trigger yesterday, but it hasn't confirmed as yet. But if when it confirms, if you are subscribed to the British Shooter mailing list, I'll bang you an email when it does confirm. Similarly, when there's action on the Russell 2000 ETF and also the S&P 500 SPY ETF. If you subscribe to the Village Trader mailing list, I'll bang you an email alert. So a chart request that came from Darren was on Exaro. I'm sorry, it took quite a while to get to your charts. And if you have a chart you want me to look at, just feel free to pop it in either in the chat or in the question section. Actually, this is a nice buy trigger for me. Thank you for bringing Exara up. Darren, I'll take the trade, market open tomorrow. And as you can see, it's moving back into a higher box. And then I'll place my stop just below that those lows there, or just to give it a little bit of room around that 164 level. That's where I'm going to be placing my stop. So good spots on Exaro there, Darren. Redefine. Let's see if I'm not 100% sure if we do have redefine. Redefine property. Yeah, I don't think we have redefine. Oh, there it is. Yeah, we don't. So this is not a tradable CFD. I think it was last week they did mention that Think Markets has launched the equity side of the business, so you can now buy single stocks and not just the CFDs on Redefine. And Bitcop, let's have a gander at Bitcop. Actually, Bitcop has been on my watch list for a minute. So I'm waiting for a close above that 294 level. I want it to close above that candle there. Again, let's just remove the Christmas trees for a while. As you can see, it's breaking into a higher box. But if I remove these Christmas tree for a second, not that one there. Nice. I want to close above that candle there. This candle there. I want to close above this candle, and perhaps I'm being too aggressive, and in which case this isn't actually a trade. Stop loss 274, and I believe my trend indicators have crossed, because I have been watching Bitcop as well. Yeah, 30-week exponential moving average has crossed the 60-week exponential moving average. So check. The 50-day exponential moving average behind us. 200-day exponential moving average also behind us, and very, very nice, because we close to it, so I can use it as a place to place a stop. So I'll place my stop just below that doji candle there on Bitcop. So nice. Make a note on. And then you also mentioned Balo. So Balo has been also on my list, but it's very, very far away from breaking the level that I'm looking at on Balo. So on Balo World, I'm looking at that level there. So once you get a breakthrough that 97 Rand level, or perhaps that above that doji at around above $100, yeah, looking quite nice. And all else being equal, if nothing else changes and it just goes higher, this around $90 will be will be my stop loss at around around 90 Rand level there. And then last one is Discam. Yeah, Discam, I'm waiting for that 23 Rand level. Once you get a close above that 23 Rand level, I'll take the trade. Similarly, stop loss around 22 rand. So around 2 rand risk on the scam, looking quite decent, and I know the these two, I believe, have crossed on the weekly chart. Yeah, they recently, actually they're busy crossing. With this week's trading, with the current trading week. All mutual. Actually, I'm quite bearish on all mutual. But I could be wrong. Actually, definitely, probably wrong. Nice looking bull flag there. Looked like it was breaking. But my problem with Old Mutual is let me just remove the Christmas trees again. 30-week exponential moving average is very, very, very far from crossing the 30-week exponential moving average. Perhaps I'll start being interested in Old Mutual above 14 rand, but definitely looking quite bullish. Stock making a higher low, and again higher low there. Higher high, and another higher high, and then if we get a close above that 14 rand, that would be a higher high. So stock looking quite decent. And when you're looking at the daily charts, yeah, looking very, very, very good. Looking very, very good. But yeah, my weekly trend analysis takes me out of this trade. Ladies and gents, I'm not seeing more questions coming in. Feel free to pop questions, pop charts at me. If there's any chart that you want to me to look at. Anglo. Anglo Gold. So the gold miners have been biting me for quite some time. They're looking quite bearish, breaking into a lower box and looking like it's finding a tough time breaking back into a higher box. So for now, a stock that's going lower, I'm not very, very interested. But the problem with gold miners is that they proxy to gold, and gold it looks like it's having a tough time with that $1740 dollars a level. But promisingly, now we had a nice double top, so now we just have to wait for the neckline of the W of the W formation breakout. Maybe if we get a nice breakout there, gold miners will follow suit. But for now, gold miners aren't looking very, very nice. Real Bafokeng, actually one that I hold. I'm very, very bullish on it. Waiting for the 118 level, close above 118. I'll add to the position and put my stop around that 104, below those lows there, around that 104 level on Real Bafokeng. Nice, good paying, dividend paying stock there. Sasol. Where's Sasol? Sasol is at the end. There you go. Actually, nice breakout. A nice looking breakout on Sasol by a smidgen. Let me see first if I should be, but definitely it's a nice breakout. 30-day exponential moving average, bitterly close, about a rand away from crossing the 30. I mean, from crossing the 60-week exponential moving average. For now, I'll wait it out. Perhaps on the retest, those two would have crossed or moved close enough for me to take the Sasol trade. But I'm starting to like Sasol quite a bit at the minute. And Rich, my pleasure. Taylor, pleasure. Ladies and gents, I'm not seeing more questions. No, Hammond, my pleasure. Not seeing questions nor charts. We're going to park it here. Thank you for hanging with us this far. Absolute pleasure. Join us again next week, same time, 5:30. I'll try to keep it shorter. And do subscribe if you want to catch up to this video. The video will be up on YouTube tomorrow morning. Do subscribe on the channel, hit the bell notification button so that when the video is up, you'll just get a push notification on your phone. Then you can catch up with me nicely. Anyway, ladies and gents, have a great evening. See you again next week. Cheers all.